Right, you guys, got another product review here for you. This is the Cubot x18 smartphone. Now this is from China and it's feature packed and it only costs around about £97. As you can see, it's got a 5.7 inch IPS panel. It's also got the MT6737T 1.5 GHz quad-core processor, 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB of ROM, also rear camera of 16 megapixel, front camera of 13 megapixel, 4G, micro SIM ×2, also fingerprint recognition, Android 7.0 Nugget, also your Wi-Fi which supports B, G and N, Bluetooth 4.0 and a lithium-ion battery which has a 3200 milliamp hours, which is pretty good at this sort of price point really. So this is what you're going to get inside the box. You can see here you're going to get your charger and your charging adapter here. This is a USB charging adapter with a 2-prong plug on the end there, but so you will need an adapter if you are in the UK. And you can see here we have a USB charging cable, and this is to charge your mobile device. Now there's some pamphlets here, and you can see here this is just the manufacturer's information. Gives you their company name, email, phone number and stuff like that. You got the compliance regulations pamphlet here, and also your quick start guide which will help you set up your Cubot x18 mobile phone. Pretty nice and easy to understand. As you can see here, some pictures and some text inside here. It's all pretty self-explanatory once you turn it on. So let's take a look at the phone itself. It comes with this little cover here. I'm just going to pull this off. Now there is an additional screen cover on here which you can remove if you want to, but it's just to protect the screen from scratches here, and I'll show you a close-up of that right now. As you can see it here, you can just peel that off if you wanted to. These are just protective anti-scratch covers. There's also a plastic cover for the bottom to protect the bottom from scratches. Now the bottom is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but you can see it's got that lovely piano black sort of shiny finish. On the bottom of the phone here, you've got your charging port and your speakers. You'll probably find that only one of these speakers will work. The other one is just a dummy. And as you can see here on the side, we have a power button and also another rocker button which will do your volume. On the top we have a 3.5mm audio jack on there. Nothing down this side, and on the back we have our 16 megapixel camera with a flash, and also the fingerprint scanner which will allow you to lock your phone via your fingerprint, which is a really nice added touch for this sort of price point. So the 16 megapixel camera here is not too bad, and it does have that chrome bezel look around the outside of it. Now this phone is a bit unique nowadays, is because it has a removable back-end which allows you to replace the battery. So if we just get our finger in this little notch here, we can pull the backing off, and you'll see the battery is inside here, and you will need to remove this to remove the blue tape from the battery so it will power on. Otherwise you will find the phone won't power on. So let's remove the backing here. It's pretty straightforward and easy to do. As you can see, there's the blue tape hiding the connectors, and we've got a removable battery, which means if the battery fails you can replace it. We have our 2 SIM slots here, and also our SD card slot, which is a nice added bonus because they're on a separate slot, which means you can have your 2 SIMs on there and also your micro SD card. And this is the actual phone here. This is everything you'll get on the phone when you first power it on. And you can see there's a lot of tools already installed on there, which is a nice added bonus, saves you having to do it all yourself. And I do like the clean look of this phone itself. It does look pretty nice. I like the GUI interface on it as well, and the icons. It looks pretty snazzy. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features that this phone has. Now if we click on the little square icon down the bottom, this opens up a little window here with all the apps that we've opened recently, and you can click on these and open them back up, or we can click on the cross here to close them out. Pretty straightforward. And you can also go to the very top and close all in one fell swoop, and this will give you back some resources as well. So it's a nice little added bonus to have that on there as well. So I thought that would be a nice little feature. Another question I get quite a lot, that these phones come bundled with a lot of malware or spyware. So we're going to run stage fright here just to show you that the phone has none of that installed already on the system. So we're going to check the device, and as you can see the device is not vulnerable to any sort of threat. So we're also going to do a benchmark here and show you what the benchmark scores are. You can see here 38,164, which isn't bad for this type of budget type phone, which is only around about £97. Also, we can take a look at other benchmarks. We're going to do Geekbench here and I'll show you the score there. Single core 642, multi-core 1803, which isn't too shabby for this sort of price point. Now also we're going to go through here and take a look. You've got Nugget 7.0 on here. Also the API level is 24 and it tells you all the build time and fingerprint and all that sort of stuff of the operating system. Checking the CPU here, we can see we have 4 cores. Actual RAM is 3 GB and also physical available RAM is 2,944. And also if we scroll up a little bit, we'll be able to see what CPU is in there, which I've already mentioned earlier on, which is the MT6737T, which is also nice. Also the battery here, you can see the battery is in good health. It tells you the temperature, which is 30 Celsius, which is pretty nice, and it's a lithium-ion battery inside here. Now also, as you'd expect, you've only got 3 sensors on here: the accelerometer, the light sensor, and also the proximity sensor as well, and they're all working. So there's 3 of them on here. You wouldn't expect to have too much on here at this price point. Also looking on at the cameras here, we have a 16 megapixel rear camera and we also have a 13 megapixel front facing camera. Now the cameras I found done an okay job at this sort of price point really, and I do see a lot of other tech guys sort of doing these reviews and slamming the cameras on these Chinese phones, but I think they're pretty okay for what you're paying for. The features on here that are not supported is NFC, also USB host, and you can see a bunch of other stuff on here as well which is not available for this particular type of phone at that price point. Now moving on, we're going to take a look at the multi-touch tester here. We're just going to do the multi-touch here, and basically all you're going to get out of this is 5 multi-touch screen on here. That it won't do 10 or anything like that, especially at not this price point. As you can see, I'm trying to do 10 on here and it won't allow me to do that for you, so you're only going to get 5. Also moving on to the display tester, I'll just show you some of the specs here. As you can see, we're getting the Mali T720 GPU on here, and also 720 by 1440p. Size is 5.72 times 11.43, and also you can see all the other information on here, the screen density and also the hertz, which comes in at 57.61 hertz refresh rate for your screen. You can also see the deepest DPI is 320 on there as well. Also we're going to just connect up here for the Wi-Fi, just do a quick Wi-Fi test. I found the Wi-Fi to be pretty good. Got some good connection on here, downloaded all the apps that I needed for this particular type of device, had no problems whatsoever. Also, if gaming is your thing, then you can play games on this smartphone. As you can see here, we're playing Beach Buggy Racer. Love this game, awesome little game. If you've never played it, get this on the Google Play Store. As you can see, plays this really nicely, and trying to record it and play at the same time is very difficult, but it's a pretty decent game. You can also play this on a Windows machine by going to the Windows Store there and downloading it. It's free to download and free to play. Pretty good game. Also, you can see here we are playing another game here, which is Asheville Extreme, and this is another tough game for mobile phones to play, but it plays this okay, and especially at this price point I think it's a really good sort of phone for playing games of this caliber. So the actual phone can handle playing these quality of games, which I think is pretty nice to have as well. Now also I did a scan with ESET scanner just to make sure there was no malware or anything installed, and as you can see there was no malware and no threats found on this, as you would expect. So there is all the myths that people put out there saying that there's stuff embedded in here. As you can see, it's not detected it. Now also you've got some camera features on here which are pretty nice. You've got HDR and loads of filters and stuff like that which you can mess around with, which is an added bonus for a sort of entry-level sort of phone really. But you're getting loads of these other features on here, which is your GPS location info, exposure, scene mode, white balance, image properties, anti-flicker, loads of different things that you can play around with in here on the settings. As you can see, shutter sound, focus prompt, and stuff like that. And also there is some stuff for the camera here. You can click on this: anti-shake, shutter delay, face detection, auto scene detection, and stuff like that. You can see loads of different bits and pieces. Picture size here, 16 megapixels. You can also go onto the video settings and noise reduction, EIS, microphone, audio mode, and stuff like that. Now, also looking at the YouTube, you've got plenty of decent quality on YouTube here. You're only going to be able to stream down at 720p, as you can see here on the screen. No 1080p or 4K on this mobile phone, which is pretty understandable. Now, I don't think the sound was too bad at all. Sounded pretty good. Good quality for this sort of price point of phone. Now, also looking at the camera here, you can see the prongs on this when I took some photos, very clear, and also the detail was not too shabby. And remember, we were only paying £100 for this phone, and you're getting really good detail here. Looking at this cactus, it picks up all those little spines and prongs there from the cactus. Now, it did take some video footage, and this did have some LED lights pointing on it, so it was quite bright. And you can see here it does pick up the quality okay. I'm going to zoom in, and that's zooming in with the actual phone itself, not me zooming in with the camera that I'm shooting. It's actually on the phone that I zoomed in here. This is actual footage from the phone. You can see it's still picking up all the detail on that cactus. Pretty decent for video, I think. At this price point. And I did turn all the lights out, and it was pretty dark, and it was using the flash, and as you can see here, the quality does degrade quite a lot in the dark, but that's quite expected for a lot of smartphones at this sort of price point anyway. As you can see there, you still get something. Now, also scrolling here works really well. As you can see, the scroll works pretty well on BBC News, and that's a pretty heavy laden site. Also the zooming in and out, which works pretty well as well. I'll just click on this and show you. So I'm going to move up here to some text, and I can zoom in and out here, and you can see looks okay. The font looks nice and clear. The zoom works pretty well, and you can see there's no bleed there on the font. The font looks nice and clean and tidy, and I think that's pretty decent a job by Cubot x18. I think it's a pretty nice little phone. If you're looking to get yourself a cheap phone, then don't forget, have a check out this. I will try and find any discount codes. If there is, I'll leave them in the video description, and the link will be in there also. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Thanks again for watching, guys, and don't forget, hit that like button. It really does help me out. Bye for now.